record.
Stunt chair for back
All
there
right,
again.
so hello, everybody. I'm now reporting. Welcome to the Michigan PR Group for February 2022. And it is my pleasure to now turn it on over to Katie Rothley, who's now at the Northville Library. And she is their PR specialist there. And she's going to talk to us about using Instagram.
Thanks, Kelly, and thanks for everyone for joining us this morning. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for having me again. I want to start this off by saying that this is in no way a formal presentation. Feel free to interrupt me at any time if you have a question, a correction, because I am not an Instagram goddess by any means. So feel free to comment. You can do it in the chat if you don't want to speak, if you don't have the ability to speak either. I'm going to start with the presentation, and then I also have an iPad that I can actually go into the Northville District Library Instagram and show you things live. So I'm going to share my screen. Just give me a second. Okay, I don't have a PowerPoint, so here is my PDF version of the presentation. I did email it to Kelly, so when she sends out the link to the recording, she can include this too. If you want to take notes, you're welcome to, but a lot of the information I did get from my own experience of using Instagram at Southfield, Lyon Township, and now Northville District Library, but also this nifty book here, and maybe your library has it. So it's just Instagram for Business, the dummies version. Not that any of you are dummies. I don't think I am, but all right, here we go. Instagram for libraries. The overview of my presentation today is we'll talk about your profile, setting your settings, posting images and videos, editing whatever you're going to post.
Katie, maybe if you can move your mic a little closer. We did have a couple people comment that it's a little hard to hear you.
Oh, okay. Let me see. I wonder if that is something in Zoom. Is that better?
We had somebody say thank you. So, yep, I think so.
Okay. All right. Let me adjust my headset because I don't want to go lose my hearing from this. All right, so I'll talk about editing using filters and stickers and other things that Instagram makes available to you, running stories on your Instagram account, looking at insights. From the last time I gave this presentation, we did have 2 questions about how to reach your market audience or your target demographic, and then the best time to post. And then we'll talk about reels and live broadcasts, and Kelly's question about how to do text overlay on an image. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna move down. So your profile, if you haven't already created an Instagram for your library, you may not be aware of your profile and the settings in Instagram. So this is kind of a quick introduction. In your profile, you will want to have your library, the full library name, but you can also create a handle for your Instagram, which would be like a shortened version of your name for people to find you. If you have a really long name, like my old library, Lyon Township Public Library, you can shorten it. Or you can just type out your whole library name. Sometimes people like to use underscores or periods in the name, but this is how people will know it's you. You can also put in a call to action in your bio section. A lot of libraries like to put their mission and or vision statement in there. If you have the time and staff to dedicate to updating your profile bio section on a regular basis. You can update the links in there to specific social media marketing campaigns that you're running. If you don't have the staff and time to devote to doing that, that's okay. A lot of us don't. That just helps with increasing engagement. So here is what the Lyon Township Public Library's Instagram looks like from the library end side. So you can tell at the top is our handle. It's Lyon. Well, I mean, I'm not there anymore, but I created this presentation when I still was. And Lyon Township, their handle, I made it Lyon TWP_LIB. We did have it all spelled out at one time, but I changed it to make it shorter. You can tell how many posts I have here in the upper left-hand corner, 931 posts at the time, how many followers and how many accounts we were following. And then underneath that is the library name, the library mission statement, but you can make that whatever you want, including a call to action. We didn't have a call to action, but now that I know more about it, I would probably include one. And then the library address with the library website. There's a button that says you can edit that profile, and the little screen to the right shows you what pops up when you go to edit your profile. Instagram made an update, so now there's pronouns if you want to add those in, but because libraries are not humans, I would not recommend including that. And then you can pick out your category, which will only help people find you, especially if there are avid readers. You can set the contact options, your profile display, you can hide it if you want to.
Katie, we got a question in the text from Heather. She's asking if you could give an example of a call to action in the context.
Yeah, so a call to action in your bio would be like, check out the benefits of having a LTPL card by visiting our website. If you can make that shorter, that would be better. Or sign up to get a library card online here. Or attend library events here, or sign up for library events here. Something specific. Shorter is best, but sometimes you can't make it short. But the bio, I believe, is limited by how many characters that you can use. So you got to get creative when you want to include your mission statement, your website address, your address, and a call to action. Does that help? Okay. All right.
She
So
said thanks.
It does. Katie, are those linkable? If you put a call to action that it, for example, says sign up for library card here or whatnot, can you have a link in there? Or does it have to be like?
Yeah, your website link or whatever link you post in your bio can definitely be a hyperlink.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so going back to the middle image or the one on the left, you see, I already pointed out edit profile. You can also run promotions. That's more for for-profit businesses. I have thought about running promotions for library materials, like a for-profit business, but just saying that they could check them out for free. I've never done it though, so I don't know much about that yet. Then there's the insights button, the contact button, and an ad shop, which I also have not used because we're a nonprofit, we're not selling anything. I think maybe your friends of the library could add a shop if they are comfortable with technology and want to invest time in setting up a shop online. I know it would take a lot of work, I imagine, and if you have a small friends group, that would probably you might not get buy-in for that, especially if they don't like using technology, but who knows, maybe you could talk them into it. Then underneath that, you have your story highlights. When I was at Lyon, I didn't save any of my stories, but you're definitely able to, and I'll talk more about that a little bit later. All right. So I'm in this presentation, I'm not showing you where to find this yet. I can do this later when I share my iPad screen. But this is the professional dashboard, and this is where all your analytics can be found. So you can see back when I created this presentation was last summer. In July through August, we reached 466 accounts, and those are unique. So they're all individual accounts in those 30 days. So the reach during that time went down a little bit compared to June to July. And I imagine, you know, during the summer, probably with all of the, I mean, we're in a pandemic, but I'm sure people still did some traveling or were spending time outside. You might see a decrease in your reach on Instagram. Then you can see all insights, and underneath that is grow your business. Promotions again are ads, which the cool thing about Instagram is that it's connected with Facebook. If you just start an Instagram account for your library, you can connect it to Facebook, and everything can be managed from the Facebook business side, and I can show that to you too. Then there's branded content approvals, which I've never used, and I did explore a little bit on Instagram Help, so I encourage you to take a look at that too. Instagram Help is really helpful, ironically, or not. And then you can set up Instagram shopping, but the most important thing I want to point out here is the set up saved replies, which is similar to the messages you can set up in your Facebook business account. So if somebody wants to, they could click on your saved reply and get the information that they want themselves without you having to respond. So these are like automatic replies that you can set up, and then people can choose from a list to select from. Oh yeah, it definitely is awesome that Facebook and Instagram connect together. And the reason why, and if you did not know this, Facebook bought Instagram in 2012. Facebook's taken over with the Meta transformation and change from Facebook, the parent company, to Meta. So if you haven't heard any of that, that's fairly recent, the change to Meta. But yeah, they bought Instagram back in 2012. All right, so now we're going to talk about settings. You can tell Instagram to notify you every time you get a comment, a like, or you get tagged, and/or if you get tagged, you can set your privacy, security, and you can block accounts because there's a lot of spamming and inappropriate things that happen on Instagram. And I kid you not, it will happen to you. So all of the info that you need happens in the upper right-hand corner where the 3 lines are. If you're on your profile page, you'll see settings, I believe, but in the 3 lines, that's the gateway to all the settings, security, password, contact info there. And this is what you see. You'll see an archive, insights, in addition to settings. You'll see like an overview of your activity, QR codes that you can add, posts that you have saved, close friends, and you can discover people. And they recently, with the pandemic in the last few years, they added the COVID-19 center. So under settings, you can import your contact list on your phone. I don't think you should do that for your library account, but if you have a lot of work contacts, I suppose you could connect those. Question on notifications. If I create a library Instagram account and it will be tied to our Facebook account, will I get notifications on my personal Facebook account? Yes. Yes, you will. And yeah, it does make sense because you can't have a separate library Facebook account. You have to have a personal account to make a Facebook page for your library. I'm sure there's probably a way to turn off the notifications for your library page, but I wouldn't recommend doing that because what if somebody posts something really offensive on your wall or comments on one of your posts? If you keep your comments on, you want to know right away. So yes, you will also get Instagram notifications to your Facebook if your Instagram is connected to your Facebook page. Okay, so yes, here you can look at all of this information. Under account, you'll see personal information, which should be all about your library, but for whoever is the and wow, that word is escaping me. Admin for your account, you can put their information there. You can see, you can enable captions for your videos, sync your contacts, professional contacts is what I would do. You can set, you can change the settings for sharing to other apps like LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. And then you can delete posts. And then you can add more accounts to your Instagram account, but you don't need more than one for your library. And in fact, I wouldn't recommend doing that. Let me know if I'm going too fast. All right, so for privacy, I would not encourage this for your library Instagram account because you want people to find you, but just for your own knowledge, you can make your account private, and then this just requires people, if they want to follow you, to ask permission first. So you get to look at their account first and see if that's someone you want following you and seeing all of your posts. So this is more for personal accounts and not like business accounts, but if you're worried about something, I suppose you could make your library account private. So what they would see is the library name and then a very like small view of your library Instagram account. They wouldn't see any of your posts, but they would see your profile. Underneath that, for interactions, you can change the settings for who can comment on your posts and the settings for any stories that you upload. And I actually haven't looked at guides. That might be a good thing to look at. But you can also change the settings for messages. And down there, you can see a list of any of the accounts that you have blocked. There are a lot of spam and bot accounts on Instagram. So you might end up with some blocked accounts. And you can mute accounts first, I guess, which I believe is like for a limited time. I've never used it. And then for notifications, if you want to update your settings for that, you can have push notifications to your phone. You can pause the notifications. You can determine if you only want to receive notifications for posts as opposed to stories. I am unable to access the professional dashboard. I show that I have a professional account. What am I doing wrong? All right, when I share my iPad screen, I'll try, we'll look at that. It's hard, maybe I'll have you share your screen too later on. So hold on to that question for now. All right. I'm gonna scroll down here. So this is the option for sharing to other apps, and this is where you would connect your Facebook account, and then you would probably have to go to your Facebook and approve it on that end. these other social media underneath, I've never used, so I have no idea what they are, but you can also connect your Twitter and Tumblr. And then under security, you can change the password, you can see instances of logins and where they happened.
Katie,
You
we
can-
had another question come in on the chat. Lori's asking, under fundraisers, would that be a good place to put info on their annual silent auction?
That's a good question. I've never used the fundraiser function. I can look that up for you. I mean, I think like a post to announce it, to put your information would be a good idea. I'm assuming the fundraiser is for actually collecting funds, but I've never used it before. And if somebody else has used it or knows more about it, they can speak up now if you want to share. But yeah, I think it's for the actual fundraiser. I don't think it's for stating that you're having a fundraiser. I mean, obviously you probably want to include the info in the fundraiser as well as making a post announcing it first. And you could do a highlight video, you know, like you could do a story or a reel and save that on your highlights for the info too. Yeah, so under login activity, that's good for if you're ever worried about your account getting hacked, so you can take a look at the locations. Oh yeah, highlight videos are great, and I'll talk more about those in a little bit. So access data, I believe, is all of the information that you have put on your Instagram account, the engagement and the insight info, and you can download it too. Facebook allows you to do that too, but because I'm sure a lot of us have been on Facebook for years, there's probably a lot of data and it might take forever. I tried to do that when I got kicked out of my own personal account on Facebook and it wouldn't work. But I had been on Facebook for like a decade, so yeah. Let's see. Under privacy up here again. You can change the settings for interaction. So I think you can tell it to not show you specific words. You can put limits on comments too. And then, oh, it looks like I have some repeat stuff. Under sensitive content, that's a new update to Instagram in the last couple of years. Is there another question? Thanks, Meg. Yeah, I was assuming that's kind of what it was. I'm glad I was kind of right. But Meg looked it up, and the Instagram fundraising function is similar to making a GoFundMe, something similar to that. Thanks, Meg. The sensitive content control is to restrict what you see without any kind of filter, because if you limit or restrict it severely, you won't see as much offensive content based on what Instagram has determined is offensive content. And I believe this is Facebook's response to the whole was 2020 election, the interference, and then all of the discrimination and bullying and all of the political stuff that was going on at the time and is still going on. So you can change it so there's like this little blackish screen that covers images, and you can tell it if you want to see it or not. So instead of the image just appearing in your feed, you'll see like a blacked out square instead of the image. Okay. Now I'm gonna scroll down here a little bit more. Posting and editing. This is super fun. This is probably the most fun part of using Instagram because Instagram, essentially the purpose of Instagram is images. I would say the second purpose of Instagram is videos. So you want to have like aesthetically pleasing images when you post to Instagram because that's what it's all about. Like Twitter is all about tweeting words, not necessarily images. Instagram is all about the imagery you use. And when you post something through your library Instagram account, you can add your location and you can use tags along with hashtags. And these are really important. All right, so when you go to post, you get the option to do all kinds of editing to your video. And with this example, I chose it from the images on my phone that I took with my phone camera. And I chose to make a post, not a story, a reel, or to go
I
live.
didn't know that it was the role of the union steward to tell you what you have to do.
All right. Then in the second image I have here, you can choose from filters that will change the clarity, the colors, the shadows, how strong it looks, like how clear cut and highlights and shadows around the image. You can adjust the brightness, the angle of the image, how it appears in the Instagram post. There's way more than what I'm stating here, but just for presentation time, I'm just gonna cover a few. But down here, you can see saturation, color. You can make the image fade a little. And that's just, the middle image is just an example of what the little slider scale looks like when you adjust the image. The little wand in the middle at the very top, that is the Lux icon, and that changes, it's meant to be like a quick editing option for changing the exposure level and brightness at the same time, so you don't have to do those individually. No, and I'll cover this later. The editing options are not just limited to what's available in the app. You can actually do your image editing outside of the app and then upload your fully edited image to Instagram and not edit it anymore before you post it. So that's totally up to you and what you want your image to look like. And right before you go to post, it gives you the chance to write a caption and to include hashtags. You can even tag people. So if you're doing a collaboration with another library, or if you're reposting or using something that the Library of Michigan or a vendor like Hoopla, a service or a vendor, you can tag their Instagram account, and sometimes they'll like your post or they'll even repost it on their account, which is pretty cool. You can tell in the post your location, which is good. If you're doing something at the library or if you're doing outreach at a particular location, you might want to include that, especially if it's like a downtown event and you want people to join in. Add the location. If you're advertising new books or a service the library provides, use your library location. Creative promotion is like running an ad. I guess you can add a fundraiser to a post. So I've never used that. And then if you have more than one Instagram account like me, because I'm lazy, I have my own personal account, and then I have an Instagram account for my dog and an Instagram account for my cat. So please don't judge me. And then underneath is the social media that is that Instagram is connected to, and I only did Facebook when I was at Lincoln Township. Okay, for stories, what you do to access stories is you kind of you swipe right on the screen, but you have to be in your feed. You can't be on your profile page to access this. So you swipe right, and then this screen appears, and you can record something. And in stories, I put some notes. In stories, when you post them, content remains up for 24 hours and then it disappears. So use stories to be spontaneous. You can do this to talk directly to your audience or make an announcement. You can do before and after shots using stories. You can share a behind the scenes moment. You can do like a snapshot of a live event, and you can share your library travels. If you like to travel a lot and go to other libraries and you want to show off or advocate for libraries in general. So those are just some ideas for stories. And you can do Boomerang. Boomerang is actually a separate app, but Instagram must have either bought them or figured out some kind of agreement with them to have Boomerang integrated into the Instagram app. Layout also is a separate app too. Probably the same thing happened. I think maybe Facebook bought Layout, or they created their own Layout app and integrated it into Instagram. I've never used multi-capture. That might be more than one screen at a time, but I'm just guessing. Okay, I'll go back up here because the other option is Reels, and Reels is Facebook/Instagram's response to TikTok and the popularity of that new social media platform. So Reels are short form videos that last for up to 15 to 30 seconds. That's how long you can make them. And they can be filmed in Reels or uploaded, a video that you upload. It can be one take or a series of takes, so it gives you the options to shoot short takes combined together. And it can only be uploaded from mobile devices. So a lot of this functionality is really only meant for mobile devices. But you can still use Instagram on your computer. You can manage your account and react to other accounts on your computer. It's just not meant to be used that way. I know there's a workaround, and a couple people from the last presentation had figured out a way to use Instagram from the computer. I mean, in addition to relying on Facebook's business suite. So you do have options. You don't have to do it just from your mobile device, but it is easier. And some ideas for Reels could be some stop motion videos. There's lots of apps out there that are free for making stop motion videos. You can show off a collection in your library or something in your library of things or an upcoming event. Or you could do like a step-by-step tutorial real quick of how to do something in your library. I also like to point out that people can check out mobile hotspots and use our curbside pickup service. That's just another way to increase engagement, because how Reels and stories work is that they'll show up if somebody is on the Reels channel on Instagram, they'll just jump from one reel to the next. All right. There's also the option to include a swipe up link in your story or reel, which is really cool. I don't know if it's limited to accounts that have 10,000 followers or not, so I try to include it as much as possible. In the case that it does work, we definitely don't have 10,000 followers, but I like to use it anyway. And then with IGTV, this apparently is a standalone app, but it also has functionality in Instagram. You can connect it to your Instagram. Oh, let's see. Can you tell me about a swipe up link? Yeah, so if you're doing a particular reel, for example, if you're doing a reel on using Creative Bug, you could include the link for where to find Creative Bug on your library website. And that would be the swipe up link. So in the actual reel itself, it'll show swipe up for more info or something, some derivative of that. And when they swipe up on it, it will take them automatically to that link, to where that link is on your website or another social media platform. Yeah, you're welcome. IGTV is just an option to make and publish longer videos up to an hour. With reels, they only last 15 to 30 seconds at most. Stories, I believe, is around 15 to 30 seconds. There might be an option for 60 seconds, but then they disappear after 24 hours. And the live broadcast, you can only broadcast live for 60 minutes. So using IGTV would, actually, I guess it's similar. So live is if you want to save something that you broadcast, you can, but it's in real time, so people can join in and you can interact with them while you're broadcasting live. IGTV is recorded and can last up to 60 minutes as well. But it could be any number of minutes in between that. That's just the max. So for, let's see, what else do I have? All right, so hashtags. If you're not familiar with hashtags, these are the goldmine, to getting more people to interact and follow your account, but they have to be relevant. And people on Instagram typically know what hashtags are and they'll include them in their own personal posts. So it's important to use relevant ones for your library. I like to personalize hashtags for my individual library and then try and use popular hashtags that other people use. And what happens is, oh yeah, I know hashtags can definitely be confusing. I'm sorry. Was there a question?
Oh, did it? Okay, maybe I didn't share it with you in the right way because I know I have them.
What happens is if you include a hashtag in your post or reel or story, the algorithm in Instagram will include it in a list of images, stories, reels that have the same hashtag. So if someone is following a specific hashtag, they'll find your image or video. And there are popular hashtags that get used by the millions, and your content will show up in that area so that people will find your content. My question on hashtag, it seems like everyone is using them, but is anybody going to follow the hashtag to make the connections? That's a good question. I think some people follow hashtags and some people don't. It's all about personal preference. If people understand how hashtags are used and they use a particular hashtag, then they're going to find content related to that because that's what they want to see. How do you know the popular hashtags to use? That's also a really good question, and you have to do research for that. I know there's some services online that you can use. You can use to find popular hashtags. You can also use Instagram to search hashtags. And when you add hashtags to your posts, sometimes Instagram will try to smart, kind of like Google will finish things. You can see which ones have been used more than others. The longer you make the hashtag, though, the less popular it becomes because people, if you get more specific, then there's likely to be less instances of it being used. So I like to use variations of my library hashtags. So for example, for Northville District Library, I use hashtag Northville District Library, no spaces or anything, but I also use hashtag Northville Library. And sometimes I will include hashtags of Northville, Michigan, or I will shorten the state. I'll put Northville MI. For books, if you're sharing books on your library Instagram account, new books is a good hashtag, or books to read. Other hashtags would be like the service that you're promoting. So if someone follows that service, they'll see your content show up in their feed for that service. For example, Hoopla Digital. By the way, if you do the majority or you're the only person that does the marketing for your library, Hoopla Digital is like the best at offering marketing kits and content to libraries because it's all pre-made and you just have to choose from it and upload it. You don't really have to do anything. They even provide the editorial copy to include with the post, which is awesome. And I think Overdrive is starting to improve their marketing content kits, so you don't have to create any of the content when it comes to Hoopla Digital or Overdrive. In some instances, you have to be careful with Overdrive because your library might not but they may not pay for the metered access or the one-click one-use for a particular ebook, whereas Hoopla provides marketing content for all of their downloadable stuff. So, and all of that is accessible at any time, so you don't have to be worried about which ebook they're showing in their marketing content. So, yes. Anyway, I'll get off my little awesome soapbox about how cool Hoopla's marketing content is and get back to Instagram. But yeah, I agree with what everyone is saying. Libby is definitely decent, but they definitely could improve a little bit more. Like I think that they should provide marketing content where you can actually swap out the book image instead for something that you actually offer people to check out. Maybe I will contact them and tell them that, and maybe they'll do it. All right, back to Instagram. So are there any more questions about hashtags? You can actually use hashtags on Facebook as well as Instagram and on Twitter. So this is how content appears in specific feeds, because someone is interested in something, they go searching for it, they'll find your content if you include a hashtag similar to it. Yes, I will talk about Canva in a little bit here, but thanks for sharing that. They definitely have a awesome IG template for posts and for stories. So on the far right of my slide here for my presentation, you can add these kind of stickers. So you can add the location of your post in your story or reel. So this will just appear and you can size it in the image or the video. It kind of hangs over the top of the image or the video like an overlay. You can tag another Instagram post. You can include hashtags in your story or reel. You can ask a question and have people direct message you with answers. You can search for GIFs and include those. So they're like little stickers that are animated on your story or reel. You can add music. You can do the sliding scale love smiley face thing so people can interact with your reel or your story and share how much they like it or not. You can include a poll. I believe there's options to create more than one thing to choose from it. But the more options you include in the poll, the bigger the poll becomes. And you can resize everything, but you don't want to make it too small or too big that it covers the content that you're sharing. Then there's other stickers like time of day, the temperature outside if you're counting down to something, and then Instagram will update their stickers for monthly observances or national weekly celebrations or something like that. And then they often include like emojis and other fun stickers and then some popular ones that seem to be trending. Yeah, so on this slide, I have gotten a little experimental with my example here. So even in the story and the reels, you can edit your videos with filters. And this is what you see here. I've also drawn on the screen. I've made the image not take up the entire window of the story or the reel. And I was adjusting how bright or dark it was. So it's fun. You can play with the filters. I just want to say, make sure you experiment and try out everything. And you can do this all before you post it. You do not have to post it. You can just play around and kind of get acclimated to what's available to use, and you don't have to post it. So you can discard it all by hitting the cancel or the back button, which looks like a left facing arrow on some of the screens. And then in this image here, you can see at the top, there's a download button on the story or the reel page. It's a downward pointing arrow at like a line. That's to download it to your phone, so you can post it in other places if you want to. Add music or mute any kind of sound. You can add a hyperlink. You can edit some more. That I believe that's what the stars are. They'll give you other options for editing. The smiley face post-it is for stickers. The snake looking swirly line is to draw, and then the uppercase and lowercase a's are for typing text. If you want to use the layout option in Instagram, you can decide how many screens you want, and then you can either quadruple your content or rearrange it. Boomerang is like taking a video that will play forwards and backwards, and then it just repeats over and over again, which is kind of cool sometimes if you just want to get a little funky with something. All right, insights. If you have to report how your posts are doing to management for state aid reports or for progress reports for your own department or yourself, you can keep track of post likes, post comments, reach, and interactions is like likes and comments. And then with insights, you can also take a look at who is following you, what age they are, what time of day or day of the week, and where they are following you from. Like for instance, in Northville, the majority of our followers are in Northville. And in this example here, you can see that Lyon Township's, the majority of Lyon Township's followers at the time were in South Lyon and New Hudson. And also in the insights, you can see the general age range for followers, and then you can also limit it by gender. So you can see for Lyon Township, the majority of followers are in the age range 35 to 44. If you know your community really well, you can kind of guess that already. But if you're trying to figure out who your target audiences are, this is helpful. You can also look at individual post insights. So this example on the left side of the screen was for a summer reading post I did at Lyon Township back in June, I believe. And it will tell you how many likes, how many comments, if it was shared, and if somebody saved it in their Instagram account. More insights are, you can check what the demographics look like and change the time range. So I believe it's it might be 1 week, last 30 days, and the last year. I don't think it gets really specific. You might have to go to Facebook Business Suite to get more specific on that. But I think insights on Facebook Business Suite are harder to get more specific with Instagram. So I don't know. I just stay with using Instagram to look at the insights, and I don't use the Facebook Business Suite for that, except for just for Facebook data. More insights are the most active times. So that's day of the week or time of day. So you can use a social media scheduling manager to, if you look at this, you can decide, I'm just gonna post Monday through Friday, and the times I'm gonna post Monday through Friday are gonna be at 12 p.m. because that's when the most people in my target audience are on Instagram. It's probably lunchtime. So they're on their phones and they're looking at Instagram. You can look at the weekends. There's definitely less interaction on weekends, so you can decide if it's worth your time investment to do any posts or content creation for the weekends. I already talked about Reels and live broadcasts. Some fun apps to use outside of Instagram to prepare your posts or videos for Instagram are the Repost app, the Hyperlapse app. So what happens with Hyperlapse is when you're using this app, you let it go and you film something for, we'll just say 5 minutes as my example. And what it does is you can make the video go faster. You can condense a 5-minute video into 30 seconds and then post that as a video, 30 seconds of a 5-minute process. It's kind of fun sometimes to see it like a time lapse. So that's what Hyperlapse is, and that's the name of the app. Then there's Unsquared. It's this weird curved lines here. If you take a panoramic image of a part of your library, the outside of your library, then what Unsquared does is it'll take that image and it'll cut it up into perfect square images that line up. So you can do a carousel of the same huge panoramic image and not have to try and crop it yourself. Unsquared does it for you perfectly, and the sides match, so it looks like a seamless transition as you go through the carousel. I also recommend, to answer Kelly's question about how to do text overlay, I use a variety of methods to do this, and in stories and reels, you can add text to the videos, but when you go to post an image, you kind of want to have that text overlay already done when you want your image to be pretty much done as far as having text on it when you go to upload it to Instagram. So for like a quick text overlay, these are the things that I've done. I've used Snapchat to add text and then just downloaded it onto my phone. I've used Canva, so I pop the image into their Instagram template and then add text to it. Other options I've done is I've used, I wrote a list, where is it? There's other apps. I've used WordSwag before, but they require a subscription membership to them, so it's not worth it. I only used it a couple times before I realized you have to pay for it. There's Typic or Tipic, which is another app, and I believe that also requires a subscription. So Canva, in my humble opinion, is the best to use for text overlay. But you can also use Photoshop. You can use Publisher, probably. If I know it's kind of clunky to use, but if you don't have a budget to spend on apps and subscriptions, then these are the free options that you have available, including Snapchat. So like doing your editing on Snapchat and then just downloading the image with the text on it. Scroll X says I use the free version of Lightroom to edit photos, and I know Adobe Spark and Adobe Lightroom, or not Lightroom. Yeah, I don't know if Adobe is Lightroom or not, but Adobe has a couple free apps you can use. You can also go to your app store and search for photo editing, and you'll see what apps are available, but some of them they require a subscription and they limit what you can use to do any kind of editing. So with that, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. I'm gonna go to my iPad here. I think I should be able to share my screen on here.
I just made that one a co-host too, so hopefully that.
Oh, okay, thanks, Kelly.
Thank you for answering my questions.
You're welcome. All right. Screen. Okay, so let me go to Instagram here. So this is the Northville District Library's Instagram, and this is the page or the wall that kind of you just scroll and you see other accounts that we're following pop up. So if I go to our profile, we had a question about how to get to your professional dashboard. You can't see what I'm pointing at, but the three lines in the upper right-hand corner, and I clicked on that. And then you have all of your administrative account options and settings. Then you,
Ow, God damn it. Oh, sorry. Doggy's getting into trouble and I didn't realize I was on mute. So sorry, everybody.
so, all right. So if you were awake, you're awake now, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go to account here, and then personal information. So you can see the email, the phone. We didn't put a gender for our library, and then we can go to account status is, you know, if something happens to your library Instagram account, you can go here and it should tell you what that is. All right, the dashboard. I don't think it always used to be in this upper part of the page, but let me click on that. So you, whoever asked about this, you can't get to that. That doesn't appear on your Instagram.
Okay, I'm actually, it was me, I'm Amy, and I tried it on the computer and now I'm trying it on my phone.
Oh
And
yeah.
So, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh no. It probably will appear using your phone. I don't think, I'm not sure that it appears on the computer.
Okay, so,
Um.
all right.
Oh yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm in settings right now, and I'm sorry, I was trying to follow you when you were going through all that. So I'm going back, you hit the 3 bars at the top right.
Then she got, yeah, there's where she is.
Then you go to,
Well, for the professional dashboard, for some reason, it just appears on my profile page at the very top. But this is just insights and a lot of tools that you can get to from either editing your profile or
If you
going.
looked at, if you touched a little picture of the person to bring up your own profile, you should see above the circle that has your logo there, like where you see the Northville District Library logo, look right above it and you'll see the thing that says professional dashboard with the right arrow.
yes, I do now. Thank you so much. I'm a visual learner, so thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for that. This, in the upper right-hand corner next to the 3 lines, there is a square with a plus on the inside of it. That's how you add a post. So you can create something from scratch, or you can upload something that you've already created. I'll click on post here, and you can see some of the videos that I need to edit that I have available in here. And then there should be images. So I'll click on this. At this point, if I wanted to, I could leave the image this size, or I could click on those little tiny arrows in the lower left-hand corner to resize it. I could also do it with my thumbs without hitting the arrow. So you have to use 2 fingers at the same time and press down and hold it there to resize it. And I can decide, you know, where do I want this view. And for Instagram, it's really nice because they include like the lines in there to cut the photo into 9 squares, and that's the rule of thirds. The most interesting image is where it is not symmetrical or perfectly centered. It's kind of off center. So if you want like the most visual impact, you want to make sure you can line things up in thirds. So I have our catalog computer on the left third, table in the middle third, and then the informational media in the last third, where the majority is kind of the 4, but you don't see anything like perfectly centered in the middle on the horizon line. You see it's kind of going off to the right. And then if you want to add more than 1 photo, in the lower right-hand corner there, select multiple, and you can share up to 10 photos or videos in one post. So now I can select more photos here. And what this does is it creates a carousel in your Instagram post. The first photo that you choose determines what the rest of the photos, you know, like the view size of the image, surface area, and all the other photos, just, you can't resize them after that. They just stick within the same portal view of that first image you selected. All right, so then if you're posting multiple images or if you're only posting 1 image, you can change the filter you just click on that image. It's one at a time. So you can do editing options for different images in your carousel. They just change, you know, how bright or contrast looks. These are like prefabricated filters. Or you can click on the edit button and we can adjust the angle it appears at. Or if I don't want to do that, I'll hit cancel. Then I can adjust the brightness here. Here's the contrast. So, I mean, you can make things look really dramatic. And then this makes it more, like, what is that word? It's like more aggressively like points. I can't think of the word. Here's one.
Contrast.
Well, it kind of like it's like the opposite of blurry. It makes it more focused in on the details of that image when you use it. So here's warm. So that's like cooler colors in the background and then warmer on that side. Saturation will just play on the colors that are already there, or it'll turn it black and white. You can do like a fade. Not very easy to tell in this black and white image now. You can do a vignette, which is kind of cool. And there's another option for sharpening. That's it. All right, and then when you're done editing, you can hit that, and you can do the other images, or you can go on to this screen. Well, that's new. I didn't know you could do that. That's pretty cool. Here you can write a caption. And then hashtag. I'm just being lazy here, but I would recommend, I believe it's called elephant type for hashtags is helpful for accessibility. So what you do is you capitalize the first letter in each word. For instance, and this just helps with accessibility and reading the hashtags, especially if they get long. And then I'm gonna tag people. And here I'm gonna add the location. Sometimes you have to do a search for it, but since I've already done that, it's kind of populated in there. And then I'm gonna tell it to share to Facebook as well. Let's look at the advanced settings. Oh, so you can hide post likes and views on this post. So you can turn off commenting. And I just recently found this option. So for each post, if you go into advanced settings on each post and go down to this accessibility option here, write alt text, you can describe the image. And this just helps with people who have vision impairments. Oops. So now that I just discovered that, I'm gonna start using that more in my Instagram posts. And then I can press share to make it live on our Instagram, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna hit back. And then I'll show you on each individual post, you can look at the insights. So for this particular post I made on February 14th, I had 7 accounts like it and 1 person saved it. Then under the overview, it reached 139 accounts. 8 people, I guess, interacted with it. And then it goes down to impressions. It gets more specific about interactions and then whether people went to my profile from that post. So I'll go to this one. View insights here. 16 people, 16 accounts like this post, and 2 people shared it. It reached 250 1 accounts and 18 people interacted with it, and 1 person went to my profile from this. And you can see that the majority of the accounts that were reached by this post were followers, and a small percentage were non-followers. And look at this, 23 accounts found that from a hashtag I use. So that's why I recommend using hashtags. Yeah, just 1 profile. Oh, the other thing I was gonna say, if you have time, I know it's hard for us in the library world to invest time into marketing and social media, but if you have time, you can plan your posts for a consistent branded style. And I wish I had an example. There's this one account, and I believe she is an interior designer, and she probably employs someone to manage all of her social media. Her Facebook, or not Facebook, her Instagram page or wall or whatever is so cool. Like, she has it alternate between like a inspirational, really pretty post, and then the next one will be like an image of an interior she designed, and then and it's like she curated the way her Instagram post appeared on her Instagram wall or page or whatever, the whole account. So it looked like a really pretty pattern as a whole. So sometimes Instagram accounts will do that. I have not done that with Northville District Library, so you can't see any kind of sophisticated pattern in the post here. The other point I want to mention is branding, which I don't always integrate into my Instagram posts, but every once in a while you'll see I use a logo, not so much our colors. Let me see if I can find something that has our colors. Here's the logo again. I get a lot of inspiration from TikTok, so we did that. And I can always talk about TikTok too and whether or not libraries should be on it if anyone's interested. But so like, let's see, do I have any other branded? Here's another branded post. Yeah, I mean, it takes planning and it takes time to do something, to make sure everything is cohesive. But if you don't have time, you know, that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. The other thing I want to mention is post scheduling. So it's Instagram. I don't believe they have their own thing because they're owned by Facebook, and you can use Business Suite to schedule your posts there. But there's also apps. Like Hootsuite has a free version where you can, I think you can schedule up to 3 accounts, but they limit how many posts you can schedule at one time in the free version. They might have reduced that recently though. I think there's an update where they just reduced it. But I only use Hootsuite to schedule my Twitter posts because Facebook can do Instagram and Facebook. But there's Hootsuite, Buffer, Later app, Planoly, and Sprout Social. So depending on whether you want a free version or to pay for a subscription that can manage all of your social accounts, including Instagram, those are some options. Oh, another note to include is that people respond to visual images more than text. So you want your image to capture their eyes and have contrast, something aesthetically pleasing. I believe with Instagram, I'm trying to let me go back to Zoom. Nope. Where am I? Can I end the share screen from this side? It disappeared on me. How do I stop that? Okay. Did that stop it? No. There we go. All right.
You figured it out just before I did.
Yeah. So in Instagram, if you do videos on Instagram, just remember your target audiences. So if you're trying to capture an audience that is younger than 35, they prefer 10-second videos. They like shorter videos. If you're trying to target an older audience on Instagram with videos, they prefer 30-second videos. They like a longer video. And you can also, if you're able to and you have access to the library website, you can embed Instagram on your homepage. There's an option to do that. Just talk with your IT people, or if you're in charge of it, you should be able to do that. And let's see. Likes and comments within the first hour of a post do the most work to get a post shown more often in Instagram feeds. So that first hour is crucial. So that's where the insights can come in handy when you plan a post. I know, in a perfect world, we would have everything all organized and planned out, but that's not the way it works in libraries because we're often multitasking and doing other things at the same time. So just do your best, and I like to follow other libraries and like their posts to help them out with increased visibility and engagement in Instagram. So if you don't already follow Northfield District Library on Instagram, please do so, and I will follow you back. Are there any other questions?
Well, thank you so much, Katie. This was wonderful. And
Yeah,
thank you for repeating this again.
Yeah, I just want to close with some Instagram accounts that I aspire to be more like, but I'm only a team of one, is the New York Public Library. They have a fantastic Instagram, and you should see like the total of the followers is insane. But I'm also not comparing the city or township of Northfield to the entire New York Public Library system, because they have millions of people, I'm sure, and we only have thousands. But Cadwell also has really good Instagram. The Orange County Library System in Florida has a really nice Instagram. Book of the Month, I love their Instagram because I often get a lot of my inspiration from them. They have some really funny memes. I want to give a shout out to Ferndale District Library because they have a lot of fantastic memes on there, and I believe they often get a lot of engagement that way. Unfortunately, oh yeah, you're welcome. Anytime. I love you guys. Anytime you post a meme and it's really funny and it relates to somebody's life in some way, you're gonna get interaction. So unfortunately, we wish we could do that with our informational posts, but it's just not the way it is. So intersperse your informational posts with some fun memes, and you'll get a bigger audience. And then lastly, as far as branding goes, I think the Library of Michigan is doing a fantastic job, and I also aspire to one day reach that points in my own marketing for the Northfield District Library. So that's it.
Thank you again, Katie. Any final questions before we end the meeting for the day?
Yes, I will say hi to Carla from Suzanne. Yeah, definitely. Suzanne says hi. I think so. Is Suzanne Shemansky Groves? Is that who it is? Yes, it is. Just like, I'm happy to talk about TikTok if anyone's interested. So just let Kelly know. Other than that, I hope everyone has a good day.
Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Katie.
You're welcome anytime.